Panthers and the protectors of the polyester pipes. Brought to you by Molson. Molson everyone in. Joseph Wall takes over for Anthony Stolars, who was concussed in Game 1. His record in the playoffs, 4-2, 2.12, 924 his save percentage over the 3 years that he has participated. Sergei Bobrovsky in this series, or in this year, 4-2 in the postseason, 2.69, 887 his save percentage. Puck is dropped. We're underway, and we're glad you're along with us as the Leafs get it on the boards and chip it down into Florida territory. Puck goes around back of the net. Nylander takes his man up against the boards as the puck comes free. Played by Tavares around on the wall. A shot by Riley was blocked. Kept alive by Pacioretty momentarily. But then here is Marchand getting it down into the Leaf zone. Marchand trying to center, goes into the corner. Puck goes off a stick and into the corner again. It comes in front of the net. Riley is there, and he'll get it out at center ice. Panthers get it right back in over the line. Played in along the boards there by Anton Lundell. Grabbed off by Matthew Nyes and skated out at center. Nyes hits the line, trying to shoot it in. It goes off a stick. And Karam's up into the crowd and out of play, and an opportunity to introduce the world's greatest analysis of hockey, and certainly in my lifetime. Oh, he's not here. You're back again, are you?
Oh, good, because I was going to say, since I've seldom agreed with anything you've ever said, I was going to take that as the insult before the real one came.
Too late. Got it in beforehand.
Yeah.
This should be a dandy, though, Jimmy. Here's a chance for Reinhart in, and a blocker save by Wall to get him into the game. Played around back of the net. Reinhart gets it back to the point. Seth Jones walks to the middle of the ice. Can't get it around Nyes. Still has it as he gets it back to the blue line. Mikkola with a shot in traffic that doesn't make it through. Mikkola against the boards, and Barkov getting it back to the blue line. Just kept in by Reinhart. Reinhart down the right wing boards, tries to get it in front, and Marner takes it away from him, and is going to bank it out into neutral ice. Leafs are changing, so are the Panthers. Guess who's on the ice? Shot down into the Toronto zone. Bennett into the near corner! And Benoit decides to welcome him to the game with a pretty good hit. Puck comes back to the blue line, though. Kept alive into the corner. Bennett chased by Benoit again. Centering pass is going to be gobbled up there by Wall. And everybody is piled in around the net, but nothing more developing at this point.
One of my favorite things to watch with Matthew Tkachuk is how in a scrum, he'll turn his head away from the guy he's got a hold of and starts punching them in the face while looking at the official and up at the scoreboard.
Like nothing
I'm
is
not
going
really
on.
doing anything here.
No. So all kinds of storylines with this one after Game 1.
Yeah, and yet, you and I, and we talked about it after Game 1, that Joseph Wall is someone we've always been very comfortable with. First got his first playoff action 2 years ago against the Panthers. 1-2 in that series. Both losses were in overtime.
Leafs back in their own zone. Oliver Ekman-Larsson tried to chip it up the wall. It didn't move, and now it's Benoit giving the puck away. Down into the corner it goes. Back to the point and out at center, and racing after it, Bobby McMann. He's taken down. Penalty coming here to Florida.
Boy, that was a delayed call, and it looked very deliberate. Kulikov clotheslining Bobby McMann. As the Leafs were going to get a break, McMann down the left wing side. Kulikov couldn't hold it in as it was flipped up off the glass. And McMahon was about to take off when there was a little interference, and the Leafs will go to the first power play of the game.
Dan O'Rourke and Francis Salaron are the referees. Shandor Alfonso, the former Sudbury Junior, and Matt McPherson are the linesmen. The draw won by Toronto, but then stolen by Florida and shot out and down the ice. Wall will trap it back to the goal. Does a little adroit stick handling and then leaves it for Mitch Marner. Marner comes out of his own zone, dropping the puck back, and now here's Nylander with speed through the neutral zone. In on the wing, he comes to the left wing side. Played it into Nyes in the corner to the side of the net for Matthews. Matthews gets it back to the blue line. Marner swinging it over for Nylander. Nylander holds and stretches it out. Nylander still with it, top of the circle. Far side, Marner, a pass in with a deflection and a goal. A shot by Nyes was stopped by Bobrovsky, and it is cleared down the ice by Florida. Great scoring chance there.
Well, then you had Nyes and Tavares collide and fall over each other.
Matthews coming out of the Toronto zone. Gets to the line and in and plays it into the left wing. Corner there for Jones. Tied up on the boards. Nyes trying to dig it free in a collision there. Matthews couldn't get it back to the blue line. Three Panthers bring it in over the line. No, Reinhart trying to get it to the net and is broken up, and the Leafs won't get it as it's played back to center ice by Florida. Both teams getting a change in here. Stretched out and then played down into the Toronto zone. Wall got upended there by Marchand. Now brought in over the line by Ekblad. Played around back of the net. Domi still in his own zone, and Bobby McMahon turns. I think Wall was kind of expecting that. Here's Domi through center ice. Shoots the puck in around the boards to the far side. Pacioretty got it back to the blue line. Riley to the near side for Domi, but a bad pass is intercepted, and now Sturm brings it in. Put himself offside, I believe, as he was stick handling at the blue line. But a whistle here with 3 seconds left in the power play. One great scoring chance for the Leafs, and now Wall and Morgan Riley discussing what happened with, I'm really sorry, Brad Marchand.
I think the worst part about this, Joe, if this game starts the other way around and there's any contact made with Sergei Bobrovsky, I guarantee it's a penalty.
No kidding, yep.
The official saying, hey, no vigilante justice here.
Puck goes down into the Florida zone. Here's Lawton in the corner, playing it back to the point. Shot from the blue line, deflects to the near boards. Trying to get there was Lorenz. He was able to keep it in momentarily. Still in the zone. Lorenz on all fours as it comes out at center ice, and McCabe gives the puck away. Brought in over the line by Tkachuk, and a shot! And he fired it wide, and the rebound has caromed all the way out at center ice. The Leafs have had two egregious giveaways that have not ended up in the back of their goal.
And that one, Jake McCabe just fanned on a pass back to Ekman Larson, and Tkachuk took off with it down the right wing side.
Benoit off the boards for Marner, chipped in over the line for Matthews, but he couldn't control it. Now Marner gets it back, and it's cleared deeper into Florida territory. Nyes takes his man in against the boards. Benoit couldn't keep it in. Comes out at center ice to an open wing. Hustling in after it is Carter Verhaeghe. He's taken to the boards. Marner wipes out his man, and now Matthews around back of the net makes a nice little pass and springs Benoit. Benoit will get to the red line and shoot it in. Leafs are changing as we approach 6 minutes played in the first period. No score. Tavares up against the far boards trying to get the puck in deep, but it is knocked to center ice, and the Leafs will turn it back, and it is shot by Pacioretty back down into Florida territory. On the far wall. Centering effort knocked away. Sam Reinhart launches it to center, and it's a glove pass that is being whistled down, and a face-off coming in the center ice area as an end result.
Despite the power play, the Leafs being outshot in the early going 4-2. We'll say, remember the Joseph Wall's first postseason appearance was in Florida against the Panthers. And you remember Ilya Samsonov got hurt in game 3. The Leafs trailing. Wall went in, played very well before losing in overtime.
Far boards for Brandon Carlo in the Leaf zone. Puck stolen, and a shot goes wide of the Leaf goal around to the near side. Ekblad into the game now after serving his suspension. Plays it down into the corner. And now the Leafs get it up for Pacioretty, and Pacioretty sends a long lead pass. Nylander hustling after it. Almost stole it from the defenseman. And now the puck comes out into the center ice area. Here's Samoskevich across the line, playing it in deep. Far corner for Boqvist. Boquist had it taken away there by Tanev. He got it up on the wing. Back into the corner it goes, though, and the Leafs unable to come up with it cleanly as it goes around back of the net. Tried to come in front, and it's cleared out and down the ice by Toronto. It appears it is going to have enough to go for icing. And so it'll come back with 13:06 to play. First period, no score in game 2.
Mackie Samoskevich eased into the lineup tonight. Those are the 2 lineup changes. Ekblad obviously back after his 2-game suspension. AJ Greer comes out of the lineup on the 4th line, the left side. For Samoskevich has actually had a pretty solid year for the Florida Panthers.
Draw to the right of Wall. Domi scrums the draw. Puck goes back to the net for Tanev. Tanev fans on a pass but gets it back again. Sends it off the boards and out at center. It goes off a official and now brought to the line, but Domi couldn't get it around the last defender. Brought back by Florida and over the line, and Benoit got a good piece of his man there as it's chipped into the far corner. Rodriguez up against the boards with Benoit. The puck played up on the wing but not out, and now the Leafs are able to drag it out at center and get it to center ice and flip it in. In goes Lorenz after it, and along with him Yarncrook. Lorenz comes out with it, trying to come out in front, and it was knocked away before he could get to it. 4th line doing its work again. Shot wide of the goal, to the side of the goal, in front of the net. Oh, the backhand by Lorenz goes wide. The puck back along the boards on the near side, and it'll be cleared out into the center ice area. Wall patiently waiting for it to get to the trapezoidal area, and he makes a pretty good play with it. And then Riley has to miss a hit, plays it up on the boards for Nyes. Nyes to Lawton. Lawton will get a change of players going. Near boards though for Verhaeghe. Couldn't get around the defense of McCabe. Back comes Nyes the other way. He shoots it in on the far boards, and down the wall goes Marner. Centering effort didn't work. It comes back to the point. Slashed in there. Just keeping it in was the Leaf defenseman Carlo, and now it's cleared back into the Toronto end. Both teams changing. Good tempo to start. And the crowd, as it has been throughout, is right into it. Here's Tavares taken down, but no, yes, a call coming for tripping. Somebody blow a whistle here. Thank you.
Well, that was another delay. That's why Florida got the puck and took off back the other way. I think it was the crowd that reacted by the time the whistle went, and nobody on the ice heard it. So the Leafs have had a huge advantage in the power play early in this series, and this will be their 2nd here in game 2.
Face-off won by the Leafs on the power play as it goes to Nylander. A cross-ice feed for Tavares. Tavares has it in his skates, can't control it, and the Panthers trying to clear, have it go into the Toronto bench. So a face-off in the circle to the left of Bobrovsky coming here. Leafs are 0 for 6 in this series on the power play.
5-3, they had the advantage. Florida 1 for 3. During the power play goal in the 3rd period.
And really,
opening.
Game 1 of the Ottawa series when the Leafs scored 3 power play goals, right?
The way Seth Jones, it was game 1. The power play goal in the 1st period.
Shot out at center ice by Florida, and Marner goes back into his own zone. Marner off a skate. It goes deeper into the Toronto end, and Nylander will go back to recover the puck. He plays it kind of haphazardly out into the slot. Matthews now dropping for Nylander. Nylander hits the line and in, flipped it into the right wing corner for Tavares. He works around back of the net, plays it off the boards for Nyes. Back to the blue line to Marner, and a shot was whistled high and wide. Tavares to Nyes. Nyes against the boards in the near corner, back to Tavares. Centering pass, hit a skate. Tavares gets it again, trying to stretch things out into the near corner, and Nyes goes to help. He hit the skate of Tavares. It comes to Willie. He gives it off to Marner. Marner back to Nylander with room. Driving the net, going right into goal. goal, and he goes around back of the net and never did get it to the goal. He gets it again in the far corner with a centering pass. It deflects behind the net. He'll get it again from Nyes. Now Nylander, back of the net to the point. Grabbed off by Marner to Matthews. He whips a shot off a leg and it went wide. Tavares to Matthews, a shot, and that went high and wide. Grabbed off by Nylander again. Great pressure here from the Leafs. 29 seconds in the power play, and a pass back to Marner got out of his reach and goes all the way down into the Leaf end. Wow.
Well, great opportunities, but do they get anything on net?
I don't think so. And a pass by Oliver Ekman-Larsson ended up being a shot on goal, and Wall had to be sharp there. Back down into the offensive zone for Toronto. Banged on the boards. It'll come around back of the net as the penalty door opens, and the Panthers are back at full and even strength. Marchand trying to get around Riley and failing. And then Marchand is upended, but a penalty is coming to Toronto.
Yeah, that was coming. Marchand pulled up. Bobby McMahon, I think they're going to say knee on knee. It's going to be a trip.
So the Leafs will be a man short when we return. You're listening to first power play opportunity of the game for the Florida Panthers. Florida draw will be in the circle to the right.
Florida's penalty kill, by the way, now up to 92% efficiency in the playoffs.
Matthews facing off with Barkov. And the draw won by Barkov as it comes back to the blue line. Jones into the slot area and a shot, scores! Off the left wing, beating the glove hand of Wall. It's Barkov that opens the scoring just 5 seconds into the power play.
Well, Wall got beat from right about that angle in the third period of game one. And the same thing, far side, glove side. Now this got through Chris Tanev. But just a simple play, and this is what the Leafs have done. Win the face-off, get it to the net. And Barkov from the top of the left wing circle. I don't know if it glances off Tanev. Getting a look here.
Yeah, it does. Off his knee, I think, Jimmy. But there was a quick shot, and the Panthers have their first lead of the series. Leafs get it out into neutral ice. Marchand playing it back in over the line. A long shot is gloved by Wall. And he will hold on to that as Marchand is now nose to nose with, well, maybe not nose to nose with Lorenz. He's a little taller. But I'm sure Lorenz was cautious there that he didn't get licked.
Wow.
We'd hate to have that happen.
Thanks to the nasal advantage of Brad Marchand. Nose to nose, I don't know if that's possible.
Well, that's still a couple of feet.
I know.
In distance.
You have to turn his head.
Face on to the right of Wall. Bennett waved out of the face-off circle, and so Rodriguez will take the draw. And Lorenz wins the face-off. Brandon Carlo forced into the corner. Lorenz trying to free it up and does. And Morgan Riley will just lay it out down to Florida's blue line. Panthers trying to play it back, but have it intercepted by Yarncrook. Up ahead for Lawton, on the wing for Riley. He'll get to center and shoot it in. Yarncrook on the far boards, unable to get to it as it's cleared up on the wing. Kept in there nicely, though, by Brandon Carlo. But now the Panthers have time and space, but overskating it was Kulikov. He'll get it back, and now Sam Bennett starts out of his own zone. Bennett hits the blue line, but lost the handle on the puck. And the Leafs have it under control in their own zone as a change of players is coming. Nylander circles and gets it ahead for Tavares. Tavares will snap it around the boards, and it goes to the far wing. Into the corner with authority there was Pacioretty. Now Tavares trying to steal the puck back and get it to Willie Centers, and it was just out of the reach of Pacioretty as Marchand brings it back down the left wing board. There's so many people to boo on the Florida team, you don't know who has the puck. Played off the boards to center. Pacioretty is able to shoot it in to the offensive zone. Take your pick.
Just boo them all.
Yeah, boo them all. Around back of the net for Mikkola. And down in the Florida zone. 1-0 Panthers in the first period. 7:20 to go in it. Panthers break it out with a pass up the middle, backhanded by Rodriguez in over the line. And they're going to call this icing, I guess. So it's coming all the way back into Florida territory. Barkov from Jones is the scoring play.
Yeah, the Leafs need to get back on the board, especially considering the lack of production in the power play is John Tavares. He has not recorded a point in his last 3 games. Actually hasn't recorded a point since taking Artem Zub's elbow to the head.
Draw won by the Leafs as it goes around to the far side. Marner finding Nyes on the left wing corner. Nyes back of the net for Matthews. Matthews and Nyes come away with the puck. Played around into the far corner. Marner trying to get there ahead of Forsling. And Forsling is able to get it ahead. And brought to center ice now by Seth Jones and shot into the Toronto zone. Tanev chipping it along the wall for Nyes. Nyes between the legs pass that didn't connect. And now here's Ekblad with a pass in front of the net. And it was dumped over top of the Leaf goal. Ekblad again at the point. Ekblad to his defense partner, left wing side. Wrist shot coming and knocked away there by Wall. Up against the boards on the far side is played back at the net, but Ekblad gets there. Ekblad trying to get around Tanev. Tanev has him hemmed in. The Leafs come away with the loose puck, and it's played back to Brandon Carlo. And now to the far side, or excuse me, to McCabe. And McCabe will give it back to Tanev as he goes to the bench. Tanev around back of the Toronto goal. Long lead pass to center, looking there for Pontus Holmberg, and it goes to Bobby McMahon! He had a partial breakaway, but Bobrovsky got the right pad out in front of it. Great play by McMahon. Back to the point, D to D, far side. Kept in by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Domi around back of the net. Now to McMahon. McMahon trying to muscle his way along the boards, and Domi trying to assist. Domi back to the point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson can't shoot it. Now he does. Big rebound in front of the goal. It's still free. McMahon is being assaulted in front of the net by Kulikov. Leafs keep it in. Near side, Benoit. Can't get it to the net, and then it comes to the far side, a shot, and that went wide. Benoit attempting to keep it alive. Goes to the far side. Kept in by Domi, but it's going to go off a stick and into the crowd, out of play. Bobby McMahon with a great opportunity.
And McMahon has not scored, Joe, in 18 games going back to the regular season. I thought his game 6 against Ottawa started better play, and has a great opportunity here on a breakaway that he's thwarted by Sergei Bobrovsky.
A goal by Alexander Barkov on the power play for Florida. Has them up 1-0. Shots are 5-4. Advantage Panthers. Face off in the Florida zone to the left. Nylander won the draw. Tavares got it to Pacioretty. Pacioretty in the corner, trying to free it up as it goes up on the left wing, and Lundell is able to get it to center and across the line, but the Leafs are able to bring it back in their own zone under control. Nylander overskated the puck, but he got it to Brandon Carlo, who finds Tavares in neutral ice. Rink wide for Morgan Rielly. Rielly will shoot it in and around the boards. It's gone to Pacioretty. Off of a deflection into the slot area, but Tavares couldn't get there in time to get a shot at the net. Panthers send it back into the Leaf end. Rielly on the near boards. Got it ahead, but that misfires on a pass for Yarncrook. The puck comes back at center ice, brought in over the line by Florida. Drop pass is intercepted by the Leafs and flipped on the left wing, and Lorenz is out. Lorenz along with Yarncrook sends it down into the Florida zone. He goes rampaging in there, trying to get a hit on Mikko Mikkola. The puck along the boards comes back to the point. The Leafs keep it in. McCabe down the right wing boards, trying to get away from the checking of Tkachuk. Has it back of the net. Plays it around the boards. He'll find Chris Tanev. Tanev looks to the net, sends it back from whence it came behind the goal as it goes up on the right wing side and is cleared to the line, but not out. Kept in there by McCabe. Sent around back of the net to the far side. The Leafs are getting a defense change, and out come the Panthers, and it's Tkachuk just sending it in as they're trying to get a change as well. Benoit gave the puck away, though. Bennett got it to the side of the net, to the near side, and a shot deflects into the far boards, and Marner outlets for Nyes. Nyes stops up and gives it back to him. Marner through center ice into the middle, dropping it back. Nyes closes, and a wrist shot was deflected away by Barkov. Pretty good look there for Nyes. And did it go into the crowd on a play from behind the net? I believe so. Leafs are going to get a gift here and a third power play opportunity in the period.
And one they've got to cash in on, Joe. You can't be going 0 for 3 in one period in a playoff game. They're 0 for 5 in game 1. It's time for the power play to start to click here. But this is all, I mean, thanks to good pressure on the forecheck.
Yes, absolutely.
And it was Dmitry Kulikov takes his second penalty of the first period.
Draw to the right of Bobrovsky. Won cleanly by the Leafs. Marner flipping to the far wing for Nyes. Nyes sends it along the boards for Tavares. He's engaged quickly by Forsling. Puck comes free to Matthews. Matthews to Marner. Marner back into the corner. Certainly the Panthers are all over them as Marner makes a nifty move and then dished it off. Instead of shooting, it was right in the slot. Back to Marner. To the point it goes to Nylander. Nylander off a stick, but finding it is Matthews. Matthews back to Marner's fluttering shot. That was deflected wide. Knocked down in front of the net was Nyes. Cleared into the crowd again. A face-off coming in the Florida zone. I know Mitch Marner loves making things very artistic. But sometimes when you're in the middle of the ring, you just shoot the damn.
Well, and when you look at especially game 1 against Ottawa in the first round, everything was shoot first, right? And you worry that the Leafs think they have to be more spectacular with the man advantage to have success.
But Florida is extraordinarily active in the penalty kill, aren't they?
Well, they're very aggressive. They do not sit back and let you trying to pass the puck around. They are forcing the puck everywhere in the defensive zone.
Marner circles in front of his own goal and starts out with pressure from Reinhart. Drops for Nylander. Nylander through center to the line for Nyes on the left wing. Nyes got spun around and loses the puck. Down the ice it'll go. Marner goes back. The Leafs are changing with 48 seconds left in the power play. Marner waits for man to clear. Puck comes up on the left wing for Domi. Domi's going to flip it in for Bobby McMahon to rampage down into the corner. Good hit there, but the puck comes to the blue line. Off a play into the corner by Pacioretty. Back to the point it comes, and a wrist shot coming. Hit the goal post. They score! Did the first one go in? Pacioretty deflects the first one. I thought it hit the goal post and the rebound was deposited.
Well, I think it caught up under the crossbar, Joe, roof of the net on the initial redirection. And then it popped back out and Pacioretty turned. It was on his stick. So he thought, just in case everyone, like the officials, are with Joe Bowen not thinking it went in, I'm going to put it in a second time.
Oh, now it's my fault. Now it's my fault.
I'm giving you credit. Giving you credit. That's the opposite.
Is that a backhanded compliment?
No, that's like saying if you weren't sure, then maybe nobody else was.
Oh, good point.
So I better put it in.
There, thank you.
Boy, Pacioretty now. What a role he has been on.
Played around the
5 points in his last 3 games.
Lawton gets a hit on his man. Here's Bennett in over the line, dropping it back for Tkachuk. His shot didn't get through. Bennett was knocked down. Puck along the boards. Knocks away there by the Leafs, and it is Lawton getting it ahead for Lorenz, who one-hands it in over the line, but he can't get there ahead of Evan Rodriguez, who swings it around on the near side and down into the Leaf end. Out of the net is Wall to leave it there for Tanev. Tanev trying to punch it up the boards, but can't. Centering pass comes into the slot, and now here's a chance for the sharp angle shot, and Wall stopped that. Marner bring it up for Tanev. Tanev to the side of the net, got it ahead for Marner. Marner, saucer pass out in center, a little bit too far for McCabe, and now brought back the other way by Verhaeghe. He'll shoot it into the Leaf end with 40 seconds left to go in the period. Puck into the far corner. Domi getting an assist, along with Morgan Riley, as the Leafs play it out and down the ice, but it will not have enough to go for icing. 1-1 tie. Both teams on the board with power play marches as the Leafs almost stole the puck there in Tavares as it is shot in now by Benoit. 15 seconds to go in the period. Where's the puck gone? Somebody blow the whistle. I don't know where the puck is.
Yeah, right into the Panthers bench. So the Leafs, 12.8 seconds to go in the first period. They'll get an opportunity. So the Pacioretty goal is, in fact, a power play marker as time was running out. But a huge goal for the Leafs, and so big that it's the second power play unit, Joe, that is able to come out. You know, Pacioretty may not have been sure that the first one was in.
See? I told you.
Joey, I'm on your side on this.
All right.
I'm saying nobody except me knew the first shot was in.
That doesn't sound like you're on my side.
Nobody has seen more goals than me from different angles. How do you think I got here?
Point taken,
Yeah,
and all right, I got to go with you on this one. But it did help that you had your eyes open this time.
Yes, and it wasn't my fault.
No. Face-off won by Florida and launched high into the center ice area. Settled down by Riley. Played ahead to the blue line. 6 seconds left in the period. Panthers get it across the line. Pacioretty stepped into Marchand. And the horn goes to end the period.
I tell you, some of the biggest mistakes I've made this year, Joey. One, the Four Nations, questioning Jordan Binnington.
Okay.
Number two, questioning the effectiveness of Max Pacioretty.
Yes.
And I honestly thought when Nick Robertson came out, I thought there were long stretches where when Pacioretty was in the lineup in the regular season, maybe he doesn't have that much more to add other than being a big body. He has looked faster, stronger, and more engaged here in the playoffs. And I was totally wrong at what he's been able to bring to that line.
Takes a big man, Mr. Ralph. A big man like yourself to admit a failing like that.
Well,
that's the first time you've ever been wrong.
Oh no, I've perfected apologizing.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot. We've been married.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, it's a 1-1 tie at the end of 20 minutes of play. The Leafs and the Florida Panthers. Leafs and the Florida Panthers are deadlocked at a goal apiece. And because our executive producer, Armin Zagarian, did not inform me about reading the commercial reads because play was going on, I'll do it now, if you don't mind. First period brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
See, that's the difference between me and you.
What's that?
I admitted I was wrong on something, and you blame somebody else.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
how
that's
I work.
it.
What are you, stupid?
As a matter of fact. And by admitting that,
that's right.
that pretty much ends any argument. You do something, somebody says, "What are you, stupid?" You go, "Yep."
Yep, pretty much.
Argument's over.
Yeah. Got anything else you want to throw at me? Not a chance. Well, stupid, we're here for the second period, and it's a 1-1 tie.
I'm surprised somebody didn't tell you to say that.
Barkov for Florida, Pacioretty for the Leafs on the power play for Pacioretty, his second goal of this postseason. Face off to the center ice dot, Leafs to the left, Panthers to the right. We get set for the face-off, and, well, we're patiently waiting for Francois Salarant to drop the puck, and he does. And we're underway, and glad you're along with us. Panthers launch a long backhand towards the net that is corralled by Morgan Riley. Played off the boards, but cut off by Florida. Centering pass in front for Marchand, who scores! The Leafs fail to get the puck out on the near boards. where William Nylander was, and the turnover allows an old nemesis to score the go-ahead goal, set up nicely by Anton Lundell.
Like a casual play for the Leafs to force it up the right wing boards. As Morgan Riley had the pressure from behind. The tough part for Riley on this, Joe, is coming around the net on his backhand. So didn't get enough on it to force it up the right wing side, and the Leafs pay for it 15 seconds into the second period.
Reinhart lifting the puck out at center ice for Florida. Cleared back in again off the stick of Tanev. Jones around back of the net can get it ahead off Barkov, and it's sliding down into the Leaf end. Tanev chased hard around back of the net, reverses the puck for Jake McCabe. Back to Tanev with time and space. He finds Matthews, who gives it to McCabe, who gets it to Marner, who gets it back to McCabe, who centers in front of the goal. And a shot by Matthews was stopped by Bobrovsky. A good rush there by the Maple Leafs, with just about everyone getting a touch on the puck. But Matthews was in so tight that he wasn't able to elevate.
Yeah, I think originally the pass was intended for Matthew Nyes. It got through him.
I think Matthews shoots this between his legs. He does.
Yeah.
Face off to the left in the Florida zone. Draw one cleanly by Toronto. Oliver Ekman-Larsson sending it down into the corner. Tavares unable to get to it. Pacioretty sends it back around the boards to the near corner. And the Panthers are just going to try to shovel it out at center, and they do. Bennett into the zone, onto the wing for the far side. Kulikov, a shot that was stopped by Wall. The rebound goes around back of the net, and it is lugged out at center ice now by Benoit, who shoots it in and gives Nate Schmidt a bit of a combing on the way by as the Leafs are changing. Bennett trying to come out of his own end, got away from Nylander. Bennett gets it up on the right side, and a wrist shot is kicked away there by Wall, and Nylander starts back up ice for Toronto. Willie trying to play it off on the right wing, had it knocked away. Quickly sent back. Look out, that's got... Whoa! I think Mark Savard almost got hit with that puck, and he did almost a cartwheel behind the bench.
Leafs have to regroup. And Joe, you know, Austin Matthews had the opportunity right after the 2-1 go-ahead goal by the Florida Panthers. Still waiting. He's been solid for the Leafs. Done a lot of little things well, but you're still waiting for that breakout game, right? The 2-3 goal game that we know he's capable of, and needs to do it. Just 2 goals so far here in the postseason. Morgan
Riley playing it around the boards in the Toronto zone. Sturm gets there for Florida to free it up. Domi trying to get it on the wing for Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg gets a little bit of skating room, then reverses the puck for Brandon Carlo, who gets it out at center, and one-handed by Bobby McMahon down into Florida territory. Jones got away from one hit. Domi goes for a sprawl as he got sent into the near boards, and it's down into the Toronto zone again. 2-1 Florida. Goal 15 seconds into the period before anybody got back into their seats. McCabe, lead pass off Yarncrook into the offensive zone. Yarncrook along with Lawton trying to come out with it, but it goes into the corner, and Lundell will play it high to center ice. The Leafs have it at their own blue line. Pass back is deflected in over the line. Yarncrook in pursuit, but carried to safety by Nate Schmidt. Played back out at center ice. Lorenz had it knocked off his stick and down into the Toronto end. Oliver Ekman-Larsson against the boards, ties his man up, and Lorenz goes to the loose puck, but he's taken out of the play. Into the corner it goes, and around back of the net to the far side. Oliver Ekman-Larsson couldn't get to it. Forsling sends it back of the net. Lundell trying to come out, goes back to the point. This line on for a bouncing puck is one-handed by Ekblad into the corner, and I think there's going to be a penalty here.
It's going to be goalie interference. He skates right into, or is it just going to be a hand pass? Might be a hand pass, but I mean, you got a pretty good case for goalie interference on this. He goes right into the blue paint on his own and knocks Joseph Wall into the net. And forgive me and maybe the rest of Leaf Nation for being a little sensitive to guys cruising through the crease.
No kidding. Draw one by Florida. Snapped in off the boards. It's going to go around back of the net. Cut off there by Wall. Played up on the wing. Leafs Matthews getting to it, but he gives the puck away, and a shot is stopped by Wall's blocking glove. Another shot goes wide of the net. Leafs Benoit getting it up for Nyes. Good play to get it out. Barkov against the boards on the far side. Puck comes free, but Nyes couldn't get any momentum going to get around the defense. Brought back by Barkov. In across the line, a shot taken there by Ekblad was knocked away by Wall. And the Leafs will punch it out at center, but out of the reach of Nyes. It's back at the blue line for Florida to play in off a stick into the Toronto zone, and both teams are changing. Played by Benoit, but cut off. Centering pass went off a stick and out at center ice. And it's grabbed off now by the Leafs. Here's Pacioretty getting it in front for Nylander and score! Holy mackerel! Max Pacioretty sets up Willie!
The potential for disaster at one end ends up with a tying goal for the Leafs at the other. As the Leafs narrowly avoid another giveaway that could have ended up back in their own net, they take off with Max Pacioretty and Willie Nylander. This was after Simon Benoit went behind the Leaf net and it bounced out into the slot. Florida couldn't control it. The Leafs took away. But Willie Nylander, Joe, he's on his backhand. When Pacioretty sends it over to him, he's on the left wing side, takes it off his skate, and then chips the backhand. Past Sergei Bobrovsky, second time in the game the Leafs have tied it.
Just another day at the office, Ralphie. That's a fairly simple play, I would think.
Boy, two of the hottest players, though, right in the lineup.
Unbelievable. Puck down in the Toronto zone. Here's Kulikov giving the puck away, and Domi comes to center. Domi's in over the line to the left wing board. Tried to chip it in a little deeper, but it was cut off, and it's brought back to center by Sturm and shot into the Toronto zone. Riley, bank pass to find Brandon Carlo. Got it ahead at center now, and here's Lott in across the line with a little move. Couldn't find room to get around on the far side, and Florida gets it back at center. Leafs are going to launch it high right back into the Panther zone. Leafs 2 and the Florida Panthers 2. Pretty good hit there from Scotty Lott. Puck on the far side, a shot out at center and across the line for Luosterainen. His shot is deflected wide off the blocker of Wall. Puck back of the Toronto net. Yarncrook gives it to the defense up on the wing. It is chipped to the line and out by Lott. Marchand sends it high right back into the Toronto zone. Both teams trying to get a change going. Here's Tanev. Long left wing feed. Nyes cutting it on the wing. And he got a wrist shot away that Bobrovsky stopped. Comes back to the point. Kept in now by the Leafs and Matthews. Matthews trying to work along the boards. Upended there as he had his stick grab. The puck comes back to the point, but it's going to be shot down the ice by Florida. And there'll be a icing call. Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets the additional assist on the goal from Nylander, his 6th of the playoffs and his 13th point.
That will tie him with Connor McDavid for the league lead. And for Willie, this is going to be now points in 7 out of 8 playoff games. It was just the shutout loss to Ottawa here in Game 5 is the only time that Nylander's not found the score sheet.
Played out at center ice by Florida. Oliver Ekman-Larsson goes to the left wing side for Nyes. He bursts by and into the corner. A centering pass for Marner, though, was intercepted. Barkov gets it out at center ice. Leafs at their own blue line. Benoit, a pass ahead, was intercepted. Brought back by Verhaeghe. In on the wing for Ekblad. He got spun around. The puck comes free. Long shot. Pad saving a good one. A rebound in front of the net. Joey Wall makes a good save there, but it comes back to the point and is kept in by Florida. Jones to the right wing side. Here's Verhaeghe with a shot. That doesn't reach the net. It goes to the side of the goal and played out into the wing for Nyes. Nyes to Matthews. Matthews to Marner. Marner trying to give it back to him, and it was just deflected away from him. Matthews after it in the far corner. Got it back now for Pacioretty. Into the slot for Willie. Near side, Brandon Carlo a shot. Whoa, that didn't look as comfortable, I think, as Bobrovsky would like.
Well, that rattled around, and we saw Chris Tanev score from the right point in the opening game. And a shot that skipped past Bobrovsky. Tanev, Brandon Carlo looking for his first as a lead.
A 2-2 tie here in the second. Second period is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance. It's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. Panthers control the face-off. Leafs are able to get a stick on it, but it's carried by Lundell to center and shot down into the Toronto zone. Riley reversing the puck there for Oliver Ekman-Larsson, or for Carlo rather, and it is pushed to the line and out at center ice by Toronto. Tavares along with Nylander and Pacioretty. Brought to center ice and in on the left wing for Lundell. Lundell drops it back into the slot. A shot blocked. There's a rebound. Where's the puck? Sprawling his wall, and he's got a hold of it. Well, he had it, and then it's now back on the import, but it's not in the net.
No, that was a big scramble. The Leafs got caught collapsing in their own zone, and they had 4 guys show almost below the hash marks, which opened up the lane to take it to the net for Aaron Ekblad, but Ekblad was forced onto the backhand. By the way, I want to give a shout out. Someone that's a regular listener to our broadcast, Kate Pedersen.
Oh, yes. Who's here?
Yeah.
Nice to see her.
But she's also listening down on Press Row.
Oh. She probably can hear us.
Big fan of our work.
Well,
my work.
Boy, did I get ditched there in a big time hurry. A centering pass goes wide of the Leaf goal. Kept in, and a shot goes high off a stick up into the screen and out of play. Talk about having to play second fiddle without even having a bass.
This has been a rather strange game, hasn't it? 4 goals. Shots on goal are just 14 for Florida. The Leafs have only had 9. And for those that consider it a factor, power plays are 3-1 Toronto.
Which you do. Shot from the point, blockered away there by Wall, trying to come out on the short side. It comes out in front, but it is taken to safety by the Maple Leafs. Yarncrook, who got it out at center. Back into the zone it goes and chipped along, and the Leafs poke it out at center, but just out of the reach of Yarncrook. Now the Panthers have to wait for teammates to get onside as it's hit in. Okay, what's everybody hollering about here?
Well, do we have an injury?
Whoa! Now we've got Schmidt wrestling one of the Leafs to the ice.
I think it was Bobby McMahon. Was that McMahon or was it Lawton? 24, maybe, not 74, right in the boards below us. Delivered the hit. And Evan Rodriguez is slowly now making his way to the Florida bench. I don't believe there was a penalty on this play. But then Nate Schmidt jumped Bobby McMahon. So
no, it was Lawton.
Yeah, pardon me.
Yeah,
Lawton. And Lawton is going to the box, and I'm not sure what for. Because I do not believe on the initial hit, because you heard the roar, neither official had their arm up.
Rodriguez is going to the dressing room, and the officials are going to discuss this.
I don't know why.
Are they going to give Lawton a penalty for hitting Rodriguez?
It was right in the numbers. It easily, and again, I hate to point out 3-1 power plays for the Leafs.
But then does it get evened up because of the...
Well, unless they say it's going to be a 5-minute major, then they can review it and even it up. But I think the way it's being described to Barkov, I think they're going to reverse steps a little bit here and say that it's going to be a boarding penalty and roughing.
Here's the call.
Penalties on the play. Florida number 88, 2 minutes for roughing. 17, 2 minutes for embellishment. We got 24 for Toronto, 4 minutes for roughing. 5-on-5 hockey.
4 minutes for roughing? Wow.
Well, he must
All
get.
right.
Well, the hit then is legal, right?
Well,
the hit's
the hit.
boarding.
The hit's got to be the roughing penalty.
But it
Right?
can't be roughing
Well,
when
how-
you hit
how-
him.
how
It's
do you-
body check?
But how do you get a double minor from it being jumped? I mean, this is. I'm sorry. This is the 3-1 power play advantage for the Leafs. There was no penalty in there. So you're saying getting jumped cost Scott Laughton
4 minutes,
4 minutes.
for roughing. Well, that's what's trying to be explained to Coach Craig Berube now by
Laughton did see Nate Schmidt coming. Now they're calling it. Hey, we make these 5-on-5 here still is Rodriguez for
embellishing.
And I'll tell you something else. It's not embellishment. I mean, Rodriguez got pasted in the number. That is the most bizarre call.
Ralphie, I understand it. It's called creative accounting.
Oh, jeez.
I use it at tax time, and it all comes out even. Just understand how this works.
Right. So Rodriguez, did he get the penalty for going to the dressing room? That was part of the embellishment?
I guess.
He got drilled.
Played out at center ice for Nyes. He'll chip it down into Florida territory. Well, that was as creative a bit of officiating as we've seen. Leafs keep the puck in momentarily, but it is played now by Florida back into the Toronto zone. Matthews sending it around the boards, and out comes Chris Tanev. Tanev up on the right wing with a pass that's deflected by Nyes into the offensive end. Bobrovsky sends it back. Nyes had gone too far, and now here's Verhaeghe getting it ahead and now brought out slowly by Forsling to get it to center ice. Verhaeghe on the right side, back into the slot area, and it was out of his reach. Puck along the near boards with Domi. Battling his man there as it goes to the far side for Tkachuk. Tkachuk gets it back, just tipped into the blue line. Spinning move by Seth Jones. Jones is knocked down, and the Leafs break it out at center ice. Bobby McMahon with speed down the right wing. Has a man going to the net, but it was Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and the pass was out of his reach. Knocked down on the play on the far side was Pontus Holmberg. Kept alive by Tavares. Holmberg was knocked down into the slot area again, and the crowd reacting to that. Mikkola, and now a penalty coming to Toronto. Tkachuk gets it across the line. It'll be touched here. Holmberg is going to get a penalty.
All right, now it's 3-2 in power plays.
Now, can we go on with life?
No, still got one more. Holmberg got drilled away from the play, and then seconds later, he gets nailed with a tripping penalty. And he is in somewhat disbelief. Talking to the officials. We're going to see it again. Seth Jones just drills Pontus Holmberg. No call, fine. Then Holmberg gets up. Leafs are screaming from the bench. And ends up taking a tripping penalty.
Rodriguez is back on the bench for Florida.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy get an embellishment penalty, go to the dressing room, come back and be on the bench while somebody else is serving his penalty. Well, I mean, Holmberg and Jones, he sort of backs into him, but Jones makes no effort to miss him.
So Rodriguez has got to serve the penalty. He can't be on the bench.
Yeah.
Right? So what happens if if they put him on the ice? They can't.
Maybe the Leafs get another penalty.
There you go. So the power play here for Florida. Brought to center and in on the right wing and cleared into the corner. Tanev and McCabe in there trying to battle it out. Here's Tkachuk coming off the far half boards. Down into the corner it goes. Barkov side of the net, and a bad pass by Tkachuk is going to send it out at center ice. Now this would be very interesting. They try to sneak Rodriguez onto the ice.
And he has played in the second power play unit.
Yes. Matthews gets in over the line on the backhand, can't deliver a shot. He plays it all the way back into his own zone. Joseph Wall's going to tuck it around to the near kind, but then a stolen puck by Tkachuk, but he lost his stick just when he was going to make a pass. But they have it again. That should have been an easy clear for the Leafs, and they botched it. Into the slot area for Bennett. Back on the right wing side, Barkov. Back to Bennett at the far point. Walks the line. Off on the right wing side. Wrist shot coming, and it's wide. Rebound cleared to the line, but not out. Jones keeping it in. Back of the net for Tkachuk. Tkachuk looking in front. Centers to the near side. Played by Verhaeghe back to the blue line. Jones, right wing side, a shot blocked by Benoit, and it's cleared to the line. Not out, they say, but that's really close. Really close in case of a review. Taken down there was Yarncrook. It comes to the near side to Reinhart. Reinhart dropping it back for Jones off the stick of Nyes to center ice and played all the way back to goaltender Bobrovsky, who scoops it aside. Played back into the slot area. Brought out at center ice now by Florida. To the line and in. Broken up by the Leafs, but they don't get it out. Matthews chasing after Bennett's backhand. That goes to the near boards. After it is Pontus Holmberg, who's onto the ice. So I guess Rodriguez can now play. And a collision in front of the Leaf goal that goes undetected as Carlo got upended there, and a collision with Anton Lundell. Here the Panthers in again with a pass in. Oh, and a save made by Wall. Holy mackerel, the Leafs have got a breakaway. Here's Nylander closing. Knocked away, but a big rebound in front of the goal. And another Leaf is tackled in front of the net. It's Holmberg.
What a period.
Oh, is it ever? Shot into the zone. Out of the net is Bobrovsky. Pacioretty staples his man to the boards. Cleared to center ice and in over the line for Nico Sturm. He loses it. Grabbed off by Luosterainen and played back of the Toronto goal. Chipped to the line but not out. Into the corner it goes to Tanev. Tanev along the boards playing it off the glass. It'll go down the ice and an icing call will come. That penalty kill, which was very good, I might add, brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home ice advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid. Proudly built here in Ontario. Visit your Ontario Honda dealers today.
Well, Willie Nylander.
What a couple of minutes of hockey that was.
Willie Nylander was waiting at the Florida line right on the boards, right wing side when he took the pass. But what hurt him, Joe, was the fact that he wasn't moving. So now he's got to get his feet going to take it to the net. By then he was being cut off and tried to shoot short side on Bobrovsky.
Played out at center by Toronto. Gloved and brought back in and shot in by Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe gets it around into the corner on the near side, and Tanev made sure he didn't move much further than that. Pacioretty can't get it out as it comes around the boards into the near corner. Pinching in is Mikkola. Back in the net, Verhaeghe. Played to an empty corner. Tanev trying to get there ahead of the pinch and couldn't get it out past Reinhart. Now they battle in the near corner. Pacioretty up against the wall with Reinhart. Nylander around there, but it's going to go to the far side. Tavares couldn't get it out. Now the Leafs do as they play it off a body to center, and a change of players is coming. 6 minutes to play in the second period, and we're tied at 2s. Bennett gets ahead as Domi tried to step into him. Then Tanev blows a tire. It comes in front of the net, and it's knocked back of the net. Into the corner and back to the point to Jones. Jones on the near side. A shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal off the stick of Schmidt. Into the corner it goes. Near side. Lorenz is taken to the boards there by Tkachuk. It goes into the far corner. McMahon got there to get a piece of his man and knock him down, but a shot is blocked by Wall. The puck is in the slot area. Banked out at center, and Domi's got a breakaway on the left wing side. Closes, and then couldn't get it in front. Has it back of the net. Domi trying to center and looking for Bobby McMahon. And now Marchand will start away. Panthers in on the left wing with Lundell. What a period of hockey this has been. Here's Marchand trying to center. Bouncing puck is taken away by the Leafs. One-handed to center ice by Pontus Holmberg, who was hit there by Marchand. Carlo will stretch it out. The former Bruin stares down his former captain. And now McCabe gets it ahead, and here's Scotty Lawton in. Lawton with a wrist shot, deflects wide, then knocked into the corner by Bobrovsky. Comes back at center ice. The Leafs will regroup. 4:40 to go, second period, tied at 2s. Shot back down into the Florida zone. Knifed up on the wing, that goes off a stick, so there's no icing. Played by Wall into the corner. Pushed along the boards for Lawton. He got drilled there. The puck's still free. Lawton is able to take it away, and it goes around back of the net. Scooped up on the wing for Nyes. He doesn't get it out. Takes down Reinhart. Down into the corner, Benoit. Matthews will free it up, and Marner will quickly play it up on the right wing side. And it is Ekman Larsson launching it high into the left wing corner. Nyes into the forecheck. Spins around and comes away with the loose puck. Nyes playing it around to the far corner. Riley will pinch. Back of the net again for Nyes. Nyes engaged. Matthews couldn't dig it free. And Barkov has it for Florida, and he's going to bring it out. Barkov got it ahead, passed off by Reinhart to the right wing side. Mikula tried to make a little move, and it didn't work. And now Tavares is back the other way. Johnny's trying to drive the net with a backhand, and that was stopped by Barkov on the short side. Pacioretty gets knocked down. Odd man rush here for Florida. Cross the line for Boquist. Boquist is slowed up in the corner. Centering pass back into the slot. Wrist shot blocked by Tanev. The puck comes free again. Here's Forsling with another shot at Wall. Mr. Brick puts an end to that rush and holds for a face-off.
This is not the series you would have expected. This has been high danger chances, wide open, and both teams full marks for a 2-2 score here late in the second period, and it feels like it could be 5-5.
That's as good a period of hockey as we've watched this year, Mr. Ralph.
And both teams have had great opportunities. Although Florida's had the edge and shot 17-11 at this point.
But Joey Wall makes two huge saves.
Looks like he's getting more comfortable as this game has gone on. Would you agree?
Yep. Face off to his right. Domi will face off with Bennett. They'll draw a scrum, but the Panthers come away with the loose puck. Tkachuk sending it around the boards. Bennett lets it go to the point to Kulikov. Wrist shot comes wide. Centering pass knocked away there. Actually, it was Tkachuk trying to shoot it in from that sharp angle. Now out at center ice, it comes to Riley. And across the line for Lorenz. It's right. Shot scores! Domi set up in front of the goal. The Maple Leafs are out in front for the first time. What a play by Steven Lorenz.
Everyone involved in this play. Scott Lawton is not going to get an assist, but he propels the puck to Morgan Riley, who's jumping up into the play on the right wing side. Riley finds Lorenz, who's cutting through the middle. Lorenz then on his backhand throws it to the top of the left wing circle, where Max Domi snaps it into the empty side, and the Leafs have their first lead of game 2. But what a play by Scotty Lorenz, and Morgan Riley has been outstanding.
Has he ever?
In the playoffs, joining the rush, reading the play, joined the rush, but Scotty Lawton, standing at center, takes the hit, makes the play, tipping it to Morgan Riley, coming up the right wing side. Won't get a point, but it's a huge part of that goal.
Spent some time with Morgan Riley's dad after the game the other night, and in comes Brandon Carlo, and they hadn't met yet, and they said, what a job the two of you guys have done together, and they have. Carlo has just helped Morgan Riley get his game right back to where we know it's been for so many years here. But Domi gets the Leafs the first lead. Nylander to center, then shoots it in, but it's a delayed offside that is going to be held off by the officials. And now here's Marchand coming down the left wing boards, tried to get into the corner. taken in along the wall there, and a centering pass comes off the skate in front, but it's going to clear to the line, but not out. Flipped back in by Ekblad. Round on the near side, brought on there by Forsling. Back of the net, McCabe chips it back into an empty corner. Leafs Tavares trying to get there. Got it back to the point, but it comes off on the right wing side for Barkov. Barkov couldn't get it in front. Tavares chipping it along, and Nyes tomahawked at it, but didn't get it past the defense. Kept in on the far side. Now Tanev will take it on behind the net, played it off the boards and down the ice. He'll take the icing, just relieve the pressure a little bit, and a face-off coming in the Toronto zone as a result.
Well, I got Tavares.
1:37 to go.
Tavares has been out on a long shift. Matthews and Nyes have come out in the line change, but Tavares was not able on that shift to get to the bench and get Mitch Marner out. 1:37 to go. Huge draw here in the Leaf zone.
Matthews will take it against Bennett. Matthews taking a little extra time, and the draw is controlled by Toronto. And against the boards, Tanev gets it out at center ice, and Nyes gets it the rest of the way into the zone. But here's Tavares still into the attack. Now the puck in along the boards, and Tavares is around back of the net. I guess he was feeling a little better than you thought. Leafs keep it in at the blue line in front of the net for Matthews, and he couldn't handle it. Centering pass, Bobrovsky sprawls. The puck is along the boards, and now the Panthers are getting it out at center. Chip to the line, but not it. And then Matthews has to wait for Tavares to get onside as he was heading to the bench with a minute left. Puck in the Florida zone. Comes back to the point. Kept in by Brandon Carlo. Round on the boards to the far side. Pontus Holmberg is double teamed on that wing. Kept in by Riley. To the near side for Carlo. A shot! Oh, and a big split save made by Bobrovsky. Brandon Carlo got all of that. Leafs back in on the left wing. Pontus Holmberg is taken down by Seth Jones. No penalty. Puck around back of the net. Chasing his man was McMahon, but it's brought on now by Barkov. Barkov, a left wing feed. Long shot goes wide of the Leaf goal with 12 seconds left in the period. Leafs have it in the corner, and now it is Benoit hoping to kill off the remaining time. Oliver Ekman-Larsson will get it out, and the puck is sent to the red line, and that'll do it. What a period of hockey. The Leafs scored twice to erase a 2-1 Florida lead. Nylander and Domi, and they'll go to the dressing room up 3-2.
We talk about the importance of goals early in a period and late in the period. Well, Brad Marchand, 15 seconds into the second period, put Florida back on top 2-1. But the Leafs kept coming. Willie Nylander, and what's really surprised me, Joe, about the first 5 periods of the series is the number of chances the Leafs have had off the rush. I mean, I thought the Leafs were going to be in trouble if the narrative after the first game or two was going to be they kept us to the outside. We weren't allowed to get in and get good chances. The Leafs have created, with their speed, a lot of chances off the rush, and I'm sure from a Florida standpoint, that's the one thing they're probably concerned with the most right now is how often, when you compare it to, Florida hasn't generated nearly as much coming off the rush, but you saw it on the Nylander goal, you saw it on the Domi goal, that the Leafs off the rush have been very dangerous, surprisingly, I think, for playoff hockey against Florida in this series so far in 5 periods.
But 2 Toronto boys team up on the go-ahead goal as Domi is set up by Steven Lorenz, who are bread and buttered in this neighborhood.
And like we said, Scotty Lawton, if there's a third assist, he gets it. He makes the great play and the great read with his back to the Florida net, standing at center ice, tips it to Morgan Riley, who's got speed coming up the right wing side. So there's 3 Toronto boys and an adopted son in Morgan Riley that contribute on that goal.
He's pretty much entrenched.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is. Leafs carry a 1-goal lead into the third period. We got to do a few shout-outs here. Got a young man in Australia. Scott C is his handle on X or whatever. He loves listening to us. I have no idea what the time is in Australia, but he's listening. And then Pete Weber is listening again down in Nashville, and he wants to make sure that we say hello to Marcia Crisp, who is Terry Crisp, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Well, anyway, yeah. So anyway, hi to everybody in Nashville as well. So ready to go with the third period. Leafs to the right and Florida to the left. And the puck is dropped and we are underway. Panthers get it to the line and dump it down into the Toronto zone. Out of the net is Wall to punch it around on the boards, but it's trapped there, and a centering pass. And a quick shot taken there by Luosterainen was off a leg and went wide. Centering pass comes out in front of the net. Bouncing puck still free. Cleared to the line, but not out. Ekblad to the line, and now on the right wing side, a shot. Wall takes that, and...
Oh. Remember me?
Yeah,
Brandon?
remember me. I was exact what I was going to say. You tell it, Ralph.
Yeah, Brandon Carlo. First of all, Marchand tries to draw the penalty. It's like he drew the first one, spin and fall away from Brandon Carlo. Then he got back up, and Carlo gave him a little shot.
The funny part about that was Marchand said, no, not you. I'll go and push someone else over here.
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with being former teammates. It had something to do with being 6'5".
That does try to settle things down every once in a while. Well, face-off to the left in the Toronto zone. And the face-off wasn't done correctly. They'll do it over again.
I know this series, we're only 5 periods in to this series. Would you agree this feels more like 93?
Oh, yes.
Where there's chances back and forth, no lead is safe.
And it's physical and tough. Panthers at the point, left side, Forsling lets it go. That went high and wide of the goal, near side, Knies couldn't chip it by Ekblad. Ekblad with a far side, and it's intercepted at Knies. And now here is Marner in on the right side. Marner trying to drive the net, goes around back of the goal, trying to center in front for Knies. He's taken to the boards by Ekblad. Comes in front of the net, a shot! Oh, what a chance Matthews had there! Brought back by Florida. In on the right side. Barkov centers, and that went right past Verhaeghe, who had an empty net if he makes any contact. Jones near point, stepping into the top of the circles. Now the half-boards with a shot that was blocked. And the Leafs come away with the loose puck. And it's going to be played ahead for Matthew Knies. Knies brings it to center and then flips a long shot over top of the goal off the end boards. Panthers up against the wall, get it out. Played back in on a delayed offside. Puck comes up on the right wing side, then for Sam Bennett. Bennett will get it to center, and on the wing it comes in now. Here's Luosterainen with a shot that was stopped. The rebound knocked away. The rebound in the corner. Samoskevich couldn't get it, and the Leafs get it out at center ice. Jones gives the puck away. Here's Lorenz in. Lorenz with a shot, just missed. Rebound spinning there was Järnkrok. If he delivers the backhand, he gets it to the net. But by the time he spun, he was too well tied up. But again, the fourth line does a great job. Here the Panthers getting it to center. Right wing side, Rodriguez. Got it into the Toronto zone. Puck into the near corner. Bennett trying to get it back to the point. He does, but unable to keep it in was Kulikov. And it's down into Florida territory. Bobrovsky into the corner to his defenseman and is backhanded high into neutral ice. Tanev will go back and quickly play it back out. Florida not waiting for teammates to get onside. This should be offside, but don't know why that wasn't whistled down. Or did the Leafs play it back themselves maybe? Played out at center ice. And now right back into the Leaf zone. Marchand taken to the boards there by Tanev. Puck comes off the wall and out. And Nylander is racing after it, so there won't be any icing. And Bobrovsky had to wait for it to get into the non-trapezoidal area and almost gave it away. Puck back out at center ice. Lundell plays it up on the left wing. Now back for Aaron Ekblad. Pass, a bad one, is intercepted by the Leafs and brought back by Max Pacioretty. Long shot is blocked. Rebound is pushed out into the center ice area. Marner able to knock his man wide. The puck comes down into the zone, and Benoit stands up. Luosterainen in his tracks. And there's going to be an icing call here against Toronto.
Well, this is an entirely, from a year ago, this defense is entirely different. Tanev and Benoit have been absolute beasts physically.
Yep.
And I was sure if you asked Brad Marchand, he would agree. Brandon Carlo as well. Let's not forget that.
Pacioretty knocks his man down and gets the puck out into the center ice area and heads to the bench. Here come the Panthers again. In across the line. A wrist shot taken by Mikkola went wide. Then it was shot towards the net. Karam's off a stick and goes up into the screen and out of play. Shots favor Florida 21-15. But 2 goals after the Panthers took a 2-1 lead from Nylander and Domi have lifted the Leafs into the 1-goal advantage they're enjoying here now. First time they've led in the game.
I was talking to Steve Goldstein, was play-by-play for the Florida Panthers television. He said he has never seen Florida give up so many odd man rushes.
Shot from the slot area goes off a stick up into the screen as well. Well, that's exactly what you were pointing out.
He said,
so
usually he said, you get a 2-1 lead early in the second. It's difficult for the opposition to generate scoring opportunities, and the Leafs. I mean, Florida's got something to do with it, but the Leafs have really been quick.
At the point of drive, big save by Wall, and a diving save by Wall with the paddle down. Barkov in the corner, trying to work back of the net. He's knocked down. Tanev takes his man wide. It comes back to the point. Shot by Mikkola was blocked, and the Leafs are going to get it out at center. Verhaeghe turns back at his own blue line. Verhaeghe waits for teammates to change and then flips it in. Tanev, a glance over the shoulder, took a hit there. The centering pass is caught by Wall, but Tanev is slow to get up.
Boy, that was right close to being in the numbers as well as Tanev. And you'll remember a game in Boston, he was injured on a very similar play. And Tanev goes right to the Leaf bench and is doubled over.
He has been a warrior, though, the entire season.
The way he plays, I mean, from blocking shots to the physical side. He puts a lot of hard miles on that body.
Sure has. I have said many times, he is the most valuable player on this team this season. Panthers keep the puck in. It goes off an official and comes in front in the backhand. Goes high off a body up into the screen and out of play.
Everything becomes magnified now, but the Florida Panthers, that push has come early here in the third period. That time it was Brandon Carlo tried to go high off the glass, couldn't get it out.
Leafs play it out at center, off a stick and towards the net. Scooped aside by Bobrovsky. Played to the line and now racing down the right wing is Samoskevich. He had to roll off his stick and then a big collision in the corner with Scotty Lott. But it comes back to the point, a shot. That goes high and wide over top of the net. Lawton getting to the puck and getting it elevated. It'll be an icing, but the Leafs are getting into that dangerous spot of playing a lot in their own end. Now, they've been very good at it over the year, whereas we've seen teams that get forced to play that way and have not been very good.
And it's been the Florida forecheck.
Draw to the right of Wall. Lawton taking the face-off against Lundell. And Lawton won it cleanly. Carlo plays it off the boards, past the defense, out, and the Leafs get a much-needed change. To the near boards. A hit there by Holmberg, and it's cleared back down into the zone, and Marchand lets the puck go, and a centering pass was deflected wide. Another shot in front, they score! Anton Lundell coming out of the corner was right at the right spot at the right time to deflect it past Wall, and this game is tied 3-3.
You could feel it coming. Florida shooting from everywhere, in on the forecheck, and this is a puck goes across front of Wall to the right wing boards. Aaron Ekblad jumps down the right wing side and then rifles it towards the front of the net. And I don't know if this goes off Oliver Ekman-Larsson first before it's knocked in.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I think it does. Yep.
But we're tied again.
Tanev sends it back down into the Florida zone. Leafs have got to get some offense going here as the shot went wide of the Florida net. Shot then by. They score! Holy mackerel! A seeing-eye bullet from Mitch Marner off the far board! Wow!
Might want to restart the PlayStation because this isn't very realistic. Mitch Marner, I don't think there's much of a screen. I don't know if this goes off something, but the Leafs ring it around the boards. Marner rushes to the right wing boards above the face-off circle and just flings the rolling puck. No, this doesn't touch anybody and beats Bobrovsky far side, blocker side. But it's up on in when he throws it to the net. And very quickly, remember I said this feels like the 90s? Might be the 80s.
I'll tell you how quickly. 17 seconds quickly. Played down into the Toronto end, and an icing call coming here against Florida. My goodness.
Well, the Leafs have 4 goals and 17 shots. And this has got to be devastating for Florida. They come out with all kinds of jump.
This place is jumping. Draw to the right in the Florida zone. Tavares wins it. Nylander into the slot. Gets it back to the point. Shot by Carlo. Is gloved by Bobrovsky.
How about a roller coaster of emotions? 6 minutes and 6 seconds into the third period.
Well, we're going to take a break. 13:54 to go in the third. The Leafs still lead by 1.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Marner's second goal of the playoffs from McCabe and Matthews on a seeing-eye shot from the half board with his rear end up against the board.
I mean, this was just throw it to the net.
Draw one by Toronto, a long shot. It's thrown aside by Bobrovsky, but that was
Brandon Carlo.
Brandon Carlo thinking, well, if Marner could do it.
Can lightning strike twice?
Played by Riley, off a stick and into the Florida zone. Played around the boards by Forsling and to the line, but not out. Oliver Ekman-Larsson backhands it into the corner, but the Panthers get it out, and Ekblad comes to center and flips it in off the glass. Played around back of the net. The Leafs have time and space, and the pass comes out at center. Pacioretty just gets it down to the Florida blue line. Panthers back trying to shoot it in, but it ends up going into the bench. And backup goaltender Matt Murray, who is dressed tonight, replacing Anthony Stolarz. No idea how long Stolarz will be incapacitated, but he was at the breakfast with the team the next morning and joking with Carlo and whatnot, so you don't know how serious it is, but he is not dressed tonight.
Which would give you the indication it's obviously not minor.
No. Panthers send it into the zone. Here's Bennett. at the point, sending it high off the glass behind the net to the far side. Schmidt plays it along the wall, but it's cut off there by Brandon Carlo. Lorenz couldn't, or at least Yarncrook couldn't get it up the boards, but now Riley gets it ahead for Lorenz. He had it knocked away, but the Leafs get it out, and it is sent by Yarncrook down into the zone. Out of the net, Bobrovsky, but the Leafs get there first on the boards with Lorenz trying to free it up. Sends it towards the net where it was caught by Bobrovsky and thrown aside, and out at center ice it comes, and the Leafs have it again. Change of players for Toronto. On the right wing side, Tanev off a stick and into the zone. 12:19 to play, third period. Leafs 4, or the Panthers 3. Puck down in the Toronto zone. Tanev taken to the boards, but makes the play to get it on the wing. And now it is Matthews trying to pry it up the boards, but having difficulties with it. It comes to the point. Long shot. That was blocked. Centering pass off a skate to the near boards. Leafs still in their own zone. Battling on the wall is Reinhart. Matthews trying to get it freed up for Nyes. Can't do it. Matthews finds an opening and gets it back to the defense. And it is McCabe banking it ahead for Nyes, who gets it down into the Florida zone. Panthers go back with Mikkola circling around the net and starting out with it. Through center. Shot into the Toronto end. Wall can't get it to slow it up as it comes to the near corner. Down into the corner is Luosterainen, back of the net for Lundell. Lundell tries to center. Oliver Ekman-Larsson takes it to safety, pounds it off the boards to center. Bobby McMahon gets it the rest of the way into the zone, and Domi almost stole it. But it brought back by Florida. In on the left wing. Trying to play it around the boards. It's going to come to the near side to Anton Lundell. Sent back the other way, and Domi along with Oliver Ekman-Larsson get it to center, but Pontus Holmberg couldn't come up with it. Now Holmberg does, in across the line for Bobby McMahon. Holmberg trying to poke it free for him again, but it's cleared to the line and out. Riley waits for teammates and brings it right back in again and plays it into the right wing corner for Tavares. Tavares in against the boards was drilled, but it is launched high to center ice by Florida, and Bennett, or check that, Tkachuk couldn't come up with it. Again to center ice for Nylander. To Tavares, who plays it deep into Florida territory. A running hit there by Pacioretty didn't connect. Far corner, there's Nylander stealing. Willie in the corner getting it back to Carlo. He couldn't get a good shot away, and it's cleared ahead at center. Tkachuk trying to work in. Carlo catches up to him. The puck into the slot area drive. Big save by Wall. Holy Mackinac, Joey Wall comes up huge with the right pad.
His best and biggest save of the playoffs. Mackie Samoskevich looks like he's got an open net to the right of Wall, who somehow extends the right pad to get a piece of it and put it up over the glass.
9 minutes and 59 seconds to go in the third period of the face-off in the Toronto zone after an enormous save from Joey Wall. Matthews scrums the draw. McCabe takes it to the boards, trying to kick it up on the wing, and Marner starts out with it. Marner will get it back to the near boards and play it out at center, and Nyes chops it the rest of the way into the zone. Matthews chasing after Jones, but can't get it away from him. Seth Jones with speed through the neutral zone. Shot into the Toronto end. Tanev is there again to take it into the corner. Matthews trying to pry it free as well. Marner unable to get to it. Barkov had it, and now Marner takes a look and just backhands it high into the center ice area. Jones forced back there by Nyes. He's headed to the bench for a change. Pass ahead, broken up at the lead blue line and fed back out at center. Knocked right back in again by Samoskevich, and around back of the net it'll go for Ekblad. He'll get it up on the wing, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson sends it ahead. Up played down into the Florida zone. Back of the net, Ekblad trying to play it up the boards and got it knocked out of the air. Shot into the glove of Bobrovsky off the stick of, is that Lorenz? I believe it was.
He 6:49 to go here. And again, that line is dangerous. And, you know, in game one at this exact same time left in the game, it was a 4-3 Toronto lead. Matthew Nyes put the Leafs up 5-3 before Sam Bennett scored to make things a little too interesting with 1:55 to go in regulation before the Leafs could hold on to close it out.
Face off in the circle to the left of Sergei Bobrovsky. Game 3 will be Friday in Florida. Draw one by Toronto. Carlo with a wrist shot that is gloved and held on to by Bobrovsky. Hey, I got news for you. I had a chance to meet Adam Copeland, who did the great video that my son John orchestrated, and he told me if you give me any trouble, he's going to come in and put a double arm bar on you, and that'll be it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is huge leaf, and there's a deflection in front of the net. Bobrovsky down. It comes all the way back out and down the ice. He loves the two of us. He is a great guy.
Orangeville native?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Puck out at center ice. Tavares banks it ahead. Flipped in there by Pontus Holmberg. Leafs are changing as it goes around back of the Florida goal, and they're going to launch it high into the neutral zone, and Marchand couldn't settle it down. Leafs will regroup deep in their own zone. Tanev coming out of his own end. Chris Tanev getting to the red line and shooting it in. It goes into the near corner. Panthers trying to play it out, knocked down. Right back into the corner goes Max Domi after it. Domi trying to get it away there from Kulikov. It comes up on the wing and a shot. Oh, and Bobrovsky had to see that through a maze.
Yeah, that
the wrist shot from McCabe.
Yeah, and that had far corner written all over it. The battle in front, and guess who is there for the Leafs? Max Pacioretty. Front of the net, took a defenseman with him. But Bobrovsky peeked around and was able to find it. Boy, the Leafs and the Brennan Carlo point shot went off his shin pad. Bobrovsky was going to his left. Just got his right pad on that. You do feel like the Leafs need another one, though, don't you, Joe?
Nice. Played high to center ice. Tanev is back there again. Got it ahead for Matthews. Chipped ahead for Nyes. Nyes to Matthews in over the line. Matthews squeezes by his man. Got it in front of the net, but it was knocked away before Marner could get to it. Mikkola up on the left wing, and the Panthers come through neutral ice and backhanded high into the near corner. McCabe got away from a man, but it comes back to the point, and it is kept in by Florida. Played into the corner. Round back of the net now for Reinhart. Reinhart on the wall looking for a loose puck, and it's going to be launched high by Matthews down into the Florida end, but no icing. Jones is back. 7 minutes to play in the third. The Leafs by 1. Bennett up on the left wing with a long shoot in that Wall handles easily. Bennett's kind of slid by there, looking to maybe try to take another goalie out. Draw to the right of Joey Wall.
That's one of the things before. This was the Nyes goal in the third period. It was a big collision with Wall and net that you were worried about.
Face off won by Florida. Punched in along the boards, cut off there by Scotty Lawton. Pushed ahead at center. Here's Lorenz getting it in over the line. Yarncrook can't get to it initially. Played up on the wing, and a big hit there on Tkachuk by Lorenz. Lorenz taken to the boards, but he's working on it and get it back to the point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson back of the net. Yarncrook chips it back from behind the goal again. Now he's after it once more. The puck on the near wing. Florida can't get it by Scotty Lawton. Lawton has it in the near corner. In goes Lorenz to help out. And finally, the Panthers are able to pry it free, and Bennett gets to center and shoots it in, and he's going to the bench. Again, fourth line, stay down in the offensive end, force the offensive line of Florida to defend, and then go to the bench when they finally get it out. Rodriguez back in his own zone. Starts out. Panthers hit red line and now in on the left wing into the Leaf zone. Pass back to Rodriguez to the side of the net. Goes around back to the goal to the near corner. That's drawn a crowd in there. They battle on the boards. Nylander trying to poke it out, and they do. And Tavares is in over the line on the left wing. Oh, and he couldn't pull it back to get around Mikkola. Now, far side, Pontus Holmberg is spun around. 3-on-2 rush here for Florida. Closing. Shot blocked. Rebound in front of the goal. Batted into the corner and saved by Jake McCabe. Here's a race for the loose puck, and now unable to get to it was Nyes. My goodness.
McCabe is lucky he didn't put his hand over the puck. Well, that's a penalty shot.
Centering pass in the slot. Off his skate. Nyes can't get it out. Here's Luosterainen back to the point of drive, and it's high and wide. Into the corner for Luosterainen. Luosterainen for Florida to Marchand. Round on the boards, it'll come to the near point. Kept in there by Florida. Marchand with a shot in traffic that's blocked. Leafs need to get it out. They will. Matthews to center. To Nyes. Across the line. Looking for a trailer. Nyes gets by one. Centering pass, and it just was off his stick. Back to the point. It goes to OEL. Far side, and a wrist shot is going to be gloved by Bobrovsky.
This really is, like I said, those cup runs in the 90s going to the Final Four, where there is no one-goal lead that's coasted through the last 12 minutes with no events. This is still back and forth. Great goaltending and great energy in this building.
4:40 or 4:26 to play. In the game, 4-3, and in the series, 1-0.
Leafs have been good in the face-off dot, 60%. They've won. Matthews, 12 of. You got to hear from Matthews.
Well, he just won another one. Around the boards.
I'll find it.
You'll find it. Add one. In on the near boards, Matthews. Taken to the boards, but now Marner trying to dig it out. It goes around back of the net. Jones plays it up on the left wing, and the Panthers come through center. They work to the line and in with a drop pass to Barkov. Barkov around back of the net. Tanev is there again for Toronto. To McCabe. Up on the wing. Played to the line by Nyes, but not cleared. Reinhart keeps it in. Here's Jones down low. His pass intercepted by McCabe, who battles back in the net but loses it. Back to the point it goes to Jones. D to the left wing side. Pass in front of the net, knocked down. Cleared into the corner. Not out. Back to Jones. Jones in on the near boards for Barkov centering, and that went wide. Down the wall, Mikkola. Mikkola back of the net. Reinhart trying to get it in front. Leafs under pressure here. Back to the point one time. That's blocked. Backhand. Big pad saved by Joey Wall. Cleared off the boards, but not out. In front, a shot goes high and wide off the stick of Verhaeghe. It's still free. Still pressure by Florida. 3:13 to go. Shot into the screen off a stick. Oh, baby. No, that's spot hole.
We can bring all the ghosts of broadcast pass into this one. As the Leafs, 4 opportunities to get the puck out. They can't do it. Florida zips a couple that just went wide. Joe Wall had to make a big left pad save on a backhand opportunity. This is Florida Panther hockey, isn't it? Forecheck, pressure, and get pucks to the net.
Face off to the right in the Toronto zone. Played by the Leafs off the stick and down the ice. Is there going to be icing? Yes.
3:03 to go here in the third period. Leafs, who trailed twice in this game, 1-0 and 2-1. Now have a 4-3 lead.
Draw to the right. Lawton along with Yarncrook and Lorentz. Lawton scrums the draw and wins it. Carlo plays it to the line, but not out. But then Yarncrook did, but he played it too hard. And another icing, and they'll do it all over again. 2:55 to go. No motion from the bench yet. Are they? Yes. Bobrovsky is coming to the bench. with 2:55 to go. Paul Maurice will gamble on 6 attackers.
And it worked in game 1 with Bobrovsky on the bench.
Lawton lost the draw, comes back to the point. Kept in by Tkachuk. Around back of the net, it comes into the near corner. Gobbled up and still held by Marchand. Back to the point to Tkachuk on the left wing, a shot. That went high and wide. It comes to the line, but not out. Kept in there by Reinhart. Down around back of the net. Crowd is still into it as it comes to Reinhart. A shot. That's wide. Rebound far side. Jones keeping it in. Fourth line out here trying to battle for it in the corner. Lawton battles along the boards along with Morgan Riley. Comes to Lorenz. He is going to get it out. Leafs need a change. Brought right back in again by Tkachuk. Taken to the boards by Lawton and drilled by McCabe. Centering pass. That went through the goal creases. Marchand couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Reinhart. Far side, back to the point to Jones. Jones onto the left wing side. No shot taken there by Verhaeghe. Around the boards it'll come. Tkachuk with it. Back to the point. Gets it again. Sends it to the net. Blocked into the corner by Jake McCabe. Back of the net. A bad pass is going to come out at center ice. Much needed change for the Leaf defenders. Benoit. Round to the far boards, but not out. Centering pass off a skate. Marner will get it off the boards and get it out into neutral ice. Panthers back in their own zone. Brought on by Jones. Minute 20. Right to the line and in. Shot around the boards. Marner chips it up and shot off a skate, but not out. Comes to the line, just kept in. Along the boards, Marner gets it out. Nyes couldn't come up with it. Barkov to the line and in. Round back of the net. Matthews off the boards to the line. Nyes battles. Can't get it out. Marchand trying to center. To the near boards. Lundell to the point. Fanning on it. Now a chance to clear. Leafs do get it out and down into Florida territory with 40 seconds left. Bennett lost an empty net shot, went wide. Icing call.
That was Austin Matthews. We've seen him score from that range before with an empty net. Right at the Leaf blue line, left wing boards. But misses by about 5 feet short side.
We've seen him use an educated pool shot. Timeout. This crowd is just electric.
From game 1 against Ottawa. You know, we've always referred to this as a Saturday crowd. Well, we've seen Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and it feels like a Saturday night here at Scotiabank Arena.
You know, it is proven people with money can still yell.
or the resale value is
again.
Still needed for that.
Hey, you're going to spend that kind of money? Have a hell of a time, and why not? Well, here we go. 33.7 seconds left in the third period. Draw to the right of Wall. Tavares scrums the draw. Puck goes around back of the net for Benoit. Benoit would just like to get it out, but he's flipped it too far, and down the ice it goes for icing.
And the difficult part is here, Joe. Now, Benoit's got guys coming at him, the left wing boards. Your first job is to get it out.
Get it out. Yep. No, you can't.
Second job is hope you don't ice it.
Draw to the right of Wall again. Barkov against Tavares. And Barkov won it to the point for Jones. Off on the left wing side. Tkachuk with a shot that's wide. Rebound swept in front. Intercepted by the Leafs and get it ahead. They'll get it out at center, but no further. Brought back in with 10 seconds left. Down into the corner. 7. Pound shot blocked wide. It's going to come out. The game is going to win. 2 seconds. 1. It is over. 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 2 seconds Leafs will take a 2-0 lead to Florida after a thrilling 4-3 hard-fought decision against the defending Stanley Cup champions.
And the defending Stanley Cup champions gave everything the Leafs could handle. Here in the third period, Leafs had trouble clearing, then they could clear, but they iced the puck, which led to more pressure from the Panthers. But the Leafs, so many people I saw had this series going 5 games to Florida. It ain't going to be that, as the Leafs will move this series to South Florida for games 3 and 4. But I think what you look at, Joe, is you say we saw it with Edmonton and the Los Angeles Kings in the first round. Leafs have just held serve, are still more than likely going to need to steal one in Florida to feel better about their chances of moving on to the conference finals.
But now, Florida has to win 4 out of 5 games.
Yeah, and the pressure's clearly on Florida. Like we said, they got to hold serve. And I guess we can go to the 3 stars first before we start talking about some of the key moments in this game.
They're brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance. It's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today.
I think I'm going to go all Leafs in this one. I know Florida had some players that certainly stood out on the Panthers side of things, but I am going to go 3rd star Joseph Woll, who comes in. He wasn't expected to be part of this series, but because of the injury to Anthony Stolarz, came in relief, got the win in game 1. And I thought it took him a while to settle down. Once we got into the second period, after the Marchand goal made it 2-1 Florida, he came up with some huge stops, especially when the Leafs were protecting the lead late in the third period. So Joey Woll is going to be star number 3. Star number 2, Max Domi. A goal and an assist on the night. And he's somebody that's elevated this game here in the playoffs, and a lot of criticism at times in the first half of the regular season and back-to-back years. But Max Domi, a huge goal in the second period, 2 points on the night. And even though Willie scores another goal, Mitch Marner scores the winner. I said earlier I was wrong in questioning what Max Pacioretty could bring to the Leafs in the playoffs. I thought he would be much like the fourth-line guys, but he has added so much more than that. And offense has been a big part of that. Scored the goal late in the first period for the Leafs to get him on the board. Had another assist. So for Max Pacioretty, 3 games in a row, putting up points, as well as being one of the leaders in hits. So those are the 3 stars. Joseph Woll, star number 3, Max Domi, and Max Pacioretty. So two
Can I add a 4th?
Sure.
The Leafs defense corps, led by Chris Tanev.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate we got to wait for Chris Tanev to score before
we give him a start.
We give him a start.
Game in and game out, he settles things down back there. That whole defense corps plays a lot like Chris Tanev.
Yeah, and even though they did have opportunities to clear the zone when Florida was pressuring, it wasn't out of panic. It was, it was just, okay, job number 1, get it out. Hopefully it's not icing, but our job isn't to try to lob it out or be cute to get it out of our zone. Get it out first and trust the likes. John Tavares had some big face-off wins in the dying moments of that game as well. So a team effort. I think, certainly when you looked at what happened between Florida and Toronto 2 years ago, I know there's been a lot of personnel changes, but I think a lot of people thought that's what this series was going to be. The Leafs did not score more than 2 goals in a game in that series against Florida, and they've already scored 9 in the first 2 games of this series. So I think both coaches probably would love to see things be a little tighter defensively, but for the Leafs to be able to generate scoring chances off the rush is to me been the biggest surprise through the first couple of games. The other surprise is Sergei Bobrovsky. Mitch Marner scores the winner on a goal that's got to be stopped.
Yeah.
We saw Chris Tanev score on a wrist shot that bounced in from the blue line. Sergei Bobrovsky, I think, is a guy that, from a Florida standpoint, has got to make sure he gets his game back.
Well, it was an interesting night for sure, and we will be with you in 2 nights' time when the Leafs tangle with the Panthers in Florida. 7 o'clock start. We trust that you will join us at that time. We thank you for listening on 680 News Radio. We'll now return to news coverage. For Leafs post-game coverage, you can continue on sportsnet.ca, the Sportsnet app, and on the Maple Leafs radio network. Good from Toronto, as the Leafs win this one by a score of 4-3. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on 680 News Radio and the Maple Leaf Radio Network.